Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with food processing, page 13. There is a great demand for ready to eat food today. Today, what we want that in very less time or without wasting any time or using any time, we should get ready made food. To prepare such food, the material is made to go through a series of physical as well as chemical treatment. And to make such food, of course, that food has to be undergo a number of physical as well as chemical treatments. Then some additives are mixed with it, and finally they are packed. All these steps taken together make up food processing. So all these steps which are mentioned here, they are used to make the processed food, or is called food processing. What are additives? Additives are chemicals used for various purposes. Flavoring agents and preservatives are two important classes of additives. So additives, they are chemicals which are used for various purposes, and flavoring agents which add flavor to the food, and preservatives which are used to keep the food for a longer time, are two classes of additives. First, we are going to study about flavoring agents. Salt, sweeteners, sugar or sugar substitute, citric acid, vinegar, and alcohol are common flavoring agents. And nowadays, the use of crude salt is avoided. The crude salt obtained from the sea is refined by chemical processes. So, the salt which we get from the sea is first processed, and then when it is refined, we are using that salt now in food. A small amount of chemical sodium iodate is mixed with it to form iodized table salt. So we are adding small amount of sodium iodate, chemical sodium iodate to the salt, and that is iodized table salt, which prevents diseases like goiter. Then sugar, it is obtained from sugarcane juice, which is clarified by chemical method, and then it is cleared by chemical methods. Sugar substitutes or artificial sweeteners like saccharin, aspartame, and sucralose are all synthetic chemicals. So this sugar is cleared off, and we are making sugars or artificial sweeteners with the help of these chemicals. Citric acid is obtained from lemon juice, and vinegar is acetic acid mixed with water. So vinegar is made by adding acetic acid with water, and alcohol is prepared from molasses, a waste of the sugar industry, by a process known as fermentation. So alcohol is also prepared by the fermentation of molasses, which is the waste of the sugar industry. Now, preservatives. A preservative improves the keeping property of food. In other words, it keeps the food unspoiled for a longer period. So preservatives, they keep the food unspoiled for a long period. The following two classes of food preservatives are used. Antimicrobes. These preservatives, they check the growth of any microorganisms. Microbes are also called germs, for example, bacteria and fungi. So these antimicrobes, they are chemical substances which avoid the growth of microorganisms like bacteria and fungi in the food. And some common examples are sodium benzoate for jams, pickles, sauce, and fizzy drinks. So we are adding sodium benzoate to jams, pickles, sauce, and even our cold drinks. Sulfites and sulfur dioxide for fruits. So we are using sulfites and sulfur dioxide to preserve foods, or to keep the fruits free from the microorganisms. Then sodium sorbate for cheese. To preserve cheese, we are making use of sodium sorbate. Sodium nitrite and sodium nitrate for meat. So these are the chemicals which we are adding to these food items so that the bacteria and fungi may not grow on them. Next is antioxidants. They check the oxidation of food. That is the reaction of the food with oxygen, which is present in the air. So these antioxidants, they do not allow the oxygen to react with the food, or do not let the oxygen in the air react with the food. And ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C, and sodium ascorbate are common antitoxins generally used to preserve cheese. Finally, the food is packed in such a manner that it does not remain in contact with either oxygen or microbes. Then, after treating them with these antimicrobes and the antitoxins, the food is packed. And it is packed in such a way that the food should not come in contact with the oxygen or microbes. Microbes are small microorganisms which we can't see with our naked eye. Air is removed from the package or replaced by nitrogen. So we remove air from the package and we add nitrogen to it. Why we add nitrogen? Because nitrogen is inactive gas and does not act on the food. It does not react with the food. Have you ever wondered why packets containing dry eatables like potato chips are swollen? Because they are filled with large amount of nitrogen gas. And the extra gas also acts as a cushion, preventing breakage. So you all have seen that the chips packet, they are swollen. And why they are swollen? Because lots of nitrogen is filled in it. And that nitrogen does not react with the food. And secondly, it even acts as a cushion and prevents the breaking up of the food items. So this much for today.